One of the more common problems experienced by users of Omnibus Web GUI comes when working in an active event list. Suddenly, the event list seems to freeze, the events disappear, and a warning message appears at the top, W0025. This event list is unavailable. What's going on, and what can we do about it? Firstly, I'll give you the bad news. There is no single fail-safe solution for this behaviour. The causes can be many and varied, ranging from lack of memory available to the JRE plugin, to unstable network connectivity between the client and server, to performance problems at the object server, or session expiry settings in typically integrated portal or Dash. I aim over a couple of videos to cover the most common causes and how you can check for them and attempt to address them. In this video, I want to focus on the JRE plugin. Like many other legacy Web GUI functions, the active event list runs in an applet. Therefore, it requires the JRE plugin in order to run. So for troubleshooting a W0025 error, one of your best friends is the Java console log. So let's just locate the Java console log by way of an active event list. So I've got here a WebGUI 7.4 installation with typically integrated portal. I'll just go to availability events and load the active event list. Click through the security warning, and you can see up here in the top left hand corner the Java console log showing us quite a lot of information here relating to cookies and the loading of different jar files, caching information, network connectivity information. There's a lot that the Java console log can tell us already. However, the Java console log could tell us even more if we put it into WebGUI debug or NCW debug, which we can do with a fairly simple string. So here is the string, and I'll now walk you through adding this to the Java runtime parameters. So if I open up my Windows control panel, I can then click on Programs and then locate my Java. And see here I've opened up my Java control panel, and what I want to do is go to the Java tab, and in here I have my different JRE plugins on this machine. So the JRE that we were loading when we were looking at the active event list before was this one here, 18066. So if I click into the runtime parameters here, I can then copy and paste my debug string in here, and then just OK that. While I'm in here, I also wanted to point out the memory settings. The default memory allocation for the JRE plugin is typically on the low side for running WebGUI applets, and this is one of the most common causes of warning messages like the W0025. My recommendation is to set the initial memory allocation pool to at least 256. So you can set this as XMS256M, and the maximum memory allocation pool to at least 512 meg. So XMX512M, and then OK that. It's important to note that there is no hard and fast rule about what the memory allocation should be set to. It can depend upon the client machine's resources and upon whether there are other Java processes running on the same machine and competing for memory. So be prepared to raise or lower the memory settings in order to find what works best for this particular machine. If you raise the memory allocation pool and you start to see your active event lists freezing and going completely blank, it means your memory allocation is set too high and you need to lower it again. Another point to note is that if you're accessing WebGUI through a virtualized client, then you'll be doing your JRE plugin configuration there rather than on the end client machines. Let's just finish up by looking at the effect those changes have on loading the active event list and what you see in the Java console log. A very important point is that you need to restart your browser after making any of those changes in the JRE plugin. So I'll just launch the browser again here. Then I'll go ahead and log back into the Tivoli integrated portal and reload my active event list. And if I just expand the Java console log, I can see now that we're getting debug messages here. You'll see all these messages with debug. So this is giving us a lot of extra information about what's going on when our active event list is running. Two other useful things you can do while you've got the Java console log open. Make sure it's in focus, and you can check the memory allocation settings by typing M. And so we can see here we've got memory 256 meg. Another thing you can do is type S, and that's giving you a full system property output dump. So if, for example, I wanted to verify my Java runtime parameters in here, I can go looking for the property java plugin.vm.options, and here I can see the memory settings and the NCW debug settings that I added before. Oops, just lost it. There it is again up there. So, in summary, make sure your memory allocation settings are appropriate and use the NCW debug parameters to give you some useful information about what the active event list is doing if a W0025 warning occurs. Even if you can't debug it yourself, the debug Java console log, along with the WebGUI server logs, is the most valuable information to send to support when opening a PMR. This is by no means the last word on W0025, however, and in my next video I'll focus on a few other potential causes.